Imagine being deep underground, completely isolated, with your air running low. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? This was the reality for Bonnie Cotier on April 23, 2011. Bonnie, an experienced diver, set out to explore the Gorge Cave complex in Wales. But what began as an adventure would end in tragedy. How did this happen? Let's dive into Bonnie's story and uncover the events that led to her heartbreaking loss. Bonnie Cotier was a spirited 52-year-old woman from Washington, D.C. She was a creative director, loved her job, and shared a wonderful life with her husband, Steve. While many people around them enjoyed typical suburban activities, Bonnie and Steve were adventurers at heart. They shared a deep love for cave diving, a passion that took them to many beautiful underwater locations. Bonnie began her journey into scuba diving in 1999. Over the years, she became skilled and confident. Together, Bonnie and Steve created countless memories, diving side by side and enjoying the wonders of the underwater world. However, in 2011, Bonnie decided to set off on a solo diving trip to England, where fate would take a tragic turn. Before we dive into the details of Bonnie's final adventure, it's essential to understand the Gorge Cave complex, located in southeastern Wales. This cave system lies beneath the winding rivers of the River Usk and the River Clydach. The caves are known for their challenging conditions, featuring narrow passages, towering chambers, and muddy crawl spaces that can be quite daunting. The entrance to these caves is particularly tricky. Unlike many caves with easily accessible openings, the entrance to the Gorge Caves is hidden beneath a rock on a small grassy ledge. You can only spot it when you're almost on top of it. Once inside, divers face a series of obstacles, including tight squeezes and exhausting crawls, leading deeper into the complex. It's a thrilling place for experienced divers, but it also holds dangers that can catch anyone off guard. On that fateful morning in April 2011, Bonnie met up with fellow divers Martin Farr and Duncan for a dive in the Gorge Caves. Martin was a well-known diver from Wales, boasting over 40 years of experience. He invited Bonnie to join him and Duncan for a research dive, which included taking photographs of the cave system before they entered the cave. The divers established important safety guidelines. They agreed not to dive deeper than 82 feet due to the unpredictable nature of the cave. With enough air for a 45-minute dive, they felt ready for the adventure ahead. As they began their descent, Bonnie and Martin assisted Duncan while he set up his camera to capture stunning images of the cave. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. Bonnie was excited, eager to see the wonders of the cave with her own eyes. However, as Duncan became absorbed in his task, he swam further into the cave, unintentionally leaving Bonnie and Martin behind. Time passed, and Martin assumed Bonnie was just behind him. But when Duncan surfaced after finishing his photographs, he realized Bonnie was still missing. Concern washed over them. They knew they had been underwater longer than they planned, and that was a cause for alarm. With a sense of urgency, Martin decided to go back into the cave to search for Bonnie. He plunged into the dark water, his heart racing as he moved through the narrow passages. He found Bonnie not far from the main guideline, but she appeared disoriented, struggling to make sense of her surroundings. In a desperate attempt to help, Martin reached out and grabbed her harness. "Let's go back," he urged her, but just as they were about to ascend, Bonnie broke free and swam away in the wrong direction. Martin's heart sank. He realized the gravity of the situation. He couldn't stay down much longer himself. With his own oxygen supply running low, Martin had no choice but to return to the surface. Panic set in as he called for help, instructing his diving partner to bring additional air from a nearby location. He also dialed emergency services, hoping they would arrive quickly. Meanwhile, Duncan realized that Bonnie was still in the cave. He took a deep breath and dove back in, determined to find her. The darkness loomed around him as he swam deeper, calling out for her, but receiving no response. His heart raced as he navigated through the tight passages, fear gripping him. Then tragedy struck. Duncan discovered Bonnie's body suspended in the water, lifeless and still. She had 2 empty air cylinders and a regulator that wasn't in her mouth. The sight was unbearable. A woman who loved diving, who had spent years exploring the underwater world, had lost her life in a place that should have been filled with wonder. The rescue effort was heart-wrenching. Bonnie, an experienced diver, had succumbed to the very passion that defined her life. The news of her passing sent shockwaves through the diving community and her loved ones. After recovering Bonnie's body, an autopsy was performed to determine the cause of death. The results were tragic. Bonnie had drowned. Experts explained that as her oxygen supply dwindled, she likely became disoriented. In her struggle to find her way back, she may have become tangled in her equipment, which could explain why her diving line was cut. As her air ran low, panic likely set in. Bonnie, once a confident diver, may have lost her sense of direction. Each breath became more desperate as she fought to survive. Ultimately, this struggle led to her tragic drowning, a fate no diver wants to face. When analyzing incidents like this, many people seek answers. Who is to blame? In this case, all 3 divers, Bonnie, Martin, and Duncan, were trained and experienced. They knew the risks involved in cave diving. So where did things go wrong? The first mistake occurred when Duncan deviated from their agreed-upon plan. By venturing into a restricted part of the cave, he disrupted their timing and led Bonnie into a vulnerable position. Additionally, they did not pack enough oxygen to handle unexpected situations, which is crucial in cave diving. Most importantly, there were no backup oxygen tanks available, which severely hampered rescue efforts. Martin's decision to leave Bonnie to return to the surface for air was a tough one, but he had no choice. Bonnie's tragic story goes beyond her loss. It reflects the impact she had on those around her. Friends and family remember her as a vibrant, adventurous spirit who embraced life to the fullest. Her passion for diving inspired many, and her memory lives on as a reminder of the beauty and risks associated with underwater exploration. In the diving community, Bonnie's story has become a cautionary tale. It serves as a reminder to divers everywhere to prioritize safety and preparation. Her tragic end emphasizes the importance of taking every precaution while exploring the depths of the ocean. The tragic loss of Bonnie Cotier is a heartbreaking reminder of the dangers that come with cave diving. She was a passionate adventurer who loved exploring the underwater world. On that fateful day, unforeseen circumstances led to her untimely death. As we reflect on Bonnie's life and her dedication to diving, we must honor her memory by prioritizing safety and preparation in our own adventures. Dive responsibly, be prepared, and appreciate the beauty of exploration, while always remaining mindful of the potential dangers lurking beneath the surface. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments and consider subscribing for more insights into the world of diving and adventure.
Lastly, Afterrender produces our YouTube videos, specializing in top-notch video production.